Welcome to Legacy of Empires. If you're fascinated by the secrets of the past that shaped our world, you're in for a treat. Today, we're diving into one of the most powerful symbols in military history, the golden eagle of the Roman Empire. Before you join me on this incredible journey, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Legacy of Empires. Hit that notification bell to never miss another epic tale of battles, empires, and mysteries of ancient civilizations. The golden eagle, or Aquila, stood as the supreme emblem of Roman military might for over 500 years. But to truly understand its significance, we need to journey back to the heart of one of history's greatest empires. The Roman Empire, at its height, stretched from the misty shores of Britain to the scorching sands of Egypt, from the Atlantic Ocean to the Euphrates River. This vast territory wasn't just conquered by chance. It was the result of one of the most efficient and disciplined military forces ever created, the Roman legions. These legions were more than just armies. They were perfectly organized machines of war, with each consisting of roughly 5,000 professional soldiers divided into cohorts and centuries. Every legion carried its own golden eagle, a sacred standard that represented not just military power, but the very soul of Rome itself. The eagle soared above the battlefield, a gleaming symbol of Rome's divine right to rule and the unwavering courage of its soldiers. In the centuries that followed Rome's founding in 753 BCE, these legions would transform a small settlement on the Tiber River into the greatest empire the ancient world had ever seen. The Golden Eagle watched over every major campaign, from Julius Caesar's conquest of Gaul to the Jewish wars under Titus. It witnessed countless victories, devastating defeats, and the rise and fall of emperors. The relationship between the legions and their eagles was unlike anything we see in modern armies. Each eagle had its own personality, its own story, and its own sacred status among the men who fought beneath it. The loss of an eagle was considered a catastrophe of the highest order, while its recovery was celebrated as a triumph worthy of the gods themselves. As we delve deeper into the story of the Golden Eagle, we'll uncover tales of heroism, sacrifice, and the extraordinary lengths Roman soldiers would go to protect these precious symbols. We'll explore how a simple military standard became one of the most revered and feared symbols in ancient history, and how its legacy continues to influence military traditions to this day. Stay tuned as we unravel this fascinating chapter of history. The story of the Golden Eagle is not just about a military standard. It's about power, pride, and the eternal spirit of Rome that still captivates us 2,000 years later. The adoption of the Golden Eagle as Rome's supreme military symbol has roots that stretch deep into the mythological and historical foundations of the ancient world. Let me take you back to 104 BCE, when Gaius Marius, one of Rome's most brilliant military reformers, made a decision that would change military history forever. Before you reach for that pause button, I promise you, this story has everything: gods, legends, and a revolution in military symbolism that echoes through time. Prior to Marius's reforms, Roman legions marched under various totems: the wolf, the horse, the boar, and even the minotaur. But Marius had a vision: to unite all legions under a single powerful symbol. His choice? The majestic eagle, rendered in gold. But why the eagle? The answer lies in an intricate web of mythology and cultural significance that would have been instantly recognizable to any Roman of the time. In Roman mythology, the eagle held a special place as Jupiter's personal messenger. Picture this: the king of the gods, sitting on his throne atop Mount Olympus with his trusted eagle by his side, ready to carry his thunderbolts and execute his divine will. This wasn't just any bird. This was the ultimate symbol of celestial power. The Romans believed that when their eagles soared above the battlefield, they were literally carrying Jupiter's blessing with them. But the eagle's significance went even deeper, drawing from Greek traditions that the Romans had eagerly absorbed. In Greek mythology, Zeus, Jupiter's Greek counterpart, also favored the eagle. The Greeks told stories of Zeus transforming into an eagle to carry out his divine missions, including the famous tale of how he, in eagle form, carried the young Ganymede to Olympus. This connection to the king of the gods made the eagle a natural choice for a people who saw themselves as divinely ordained to rule. The eagle also carried practical symbolism that any soldier could understand. Its keen eyesight represented foresight in battle. Its speed and agility symbolized the swift strike capabilities of the Roman army. Its position soaring above all other birds perfectly represented Rome's aspirations to rule over all other nations. When Roman soldiers looked up at their golden eagle, they saw these qualities reflected back at them, a constant reminder of the virtues they were expected to embody. There's a fascinating detail that often gets overlooked: the transformation of this symbol from a mere military standard into something almost supernatural. Roman legionaries believed their eagles could predict victory or defeat. There are accounts of eagles spreading their wings before successful battles or refusing to move before disasters. Whether these stories were true or simply propaganda doesn't matter. They show how deeply the eagle had embedded itself in Roman military psychology. The adoption of the eagle wasn't just about replacing one symbol with another. It was a brilliant stroke of psychological warfare and internal motivation. Think about it. Every time a Roman legion set up camp, their eagle would be placed in a shrine at the center of the camp. Every morning, soldiers would pay their respects to it. The eagle became a physical embodiment of Roman power, discipline, and divine favor, all rolled into one gleaming golden standard. Remember how I mentioned this story still influences us today? Look at modern military insignias, from the American bald eagle to the Russian double-headed eagle. These aren't random choices. They're direct descendants of that moment when Marius decided to unify Rome's legions under the wings of Jupiter's messenger. It's just one more example of how the decisions made in ancient Rome continue to shape our world today. The golden eagle wasn't just a military standard. It was a revolution in how armies represented themselves, a masterpiece of religious symbolism, and a stroke of psychological genius all in one. But this is just the beginning of our story. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into how this magnificent symbol transformed Roman military culture forever. The golden eagle wasn't just a beautiful military standard. It was a complex symbol that carried layers of meaning for every Roman soldier who served beneath its wings. Today, we're going to unpack these powerful meanings that made the eagle so much more than just a military emblem. This is the kind of story that reveals how symbols can shape entire empires. So let's dive right in. First, let's talk about the eagle as the ultimate symbol of military power and strength. When a Roman legion's eagle appeared on the horizon, it struck terror into enemy hearts. This wasn't just because of Rome's military reputation, though that certainly helped. The eagle itself embodied raw power. Picture this: a golden eagle, wings spread wide, clutching Jupiter's thunderbolts in its talons, gleaming in the sun atop a legion's standard. This wasn't just for show. It was a declaration of Rome's unstoppable military might. Every victory won under the eagle's gaze only reinforced its reputation as a harbinger of conquest. But the eagle meant something even deeper to the soldiers who fought under it. It represented divine protection and security. Roman legionaries believed their eagle watched over them like Jupiter himself. There are fascinating accounts of soldiers claiming their eagles warned them of ambushes by refusing to be moved from their shrines on certain mornings. Whether these stories were true or not, they show how the eagle transformed from a military standard into a divine protector. Soldiers genuinely believed that as long as their eagle flew above them, they fought with divine blessing. Now, let's talk about loyalty and honor. Perhaps the most powerful aspects of the eagle's symbolism. The relationship between a legion and its eagle was sacred. Soldiers swore their oaths of loyalty not just to Rome, but to their eagle. There's a reason why "losing the eagle" became a phrase that meant absolute disgrace. The eagle was quite literally the embodiment of a legion's honor. Soldiers would rather die than see their eagle captured by the enemy. There are incredible stories of Roman soldiers fighting through impossible odds to recover lost eagles, and these weren't just acts of military necessity, but missions to restore their legion's very soul. The eagle's importance as a symbol of the legions can't be overstated. Think about this. In a time before mass communication or instant messaging, the eagle served as a focal point for unit identity and morale. Every evening, when a legion made camp, the eagle would be placed in a special shrine at the heart of the camp. Every morning, soldiers would gather to pay their respects. This daily ritual wasn't just ceremony, it was a reminder of who they were and what they fought for. But here's something that often gets overlooked. The eagle also served as a symbol of unity and common purpose. Remember, Roman legions were made up of men from all over the empire. Gauls, Britons, Syrians, Egyptians, all serving under Rome's banner. The eagle transcended these regional differences. Under its wings, they weren't just soldiers from different provinces, they were all Romans, united in purpose and loyalty. The psychological impact of the eagle on Roman military culture was profound. When a legion's eagle was raised high in battle, it wasn't just a signal to rally around. It was a reminder of every virtue a Roman soldier was expected to embody: courage, discipline, loyalty, and sacrifice. The eagle watched over every battle, every march, every triumph, and every defeat. It was witness to countless acts of heroism and sacrifice, and its presence inspired generations of soldiers to live up to the highest ideals of Roman military virtue. This symbolic power of the eagle extended beyond the military sphere. For the wider Roman population, the sight of legionary eagles returning victorious to Rome represented the success and divine favor of the empire itself. The eagle became a shorthand for Roman power and authority, appearing on everything from coins to public buildings. The legacy of the Roman eagle's symbolism lives on today. When you see eagles on modern military insignias, government buildings, or national symbols, you're looking at echoes of those ancient Roman standards. The eagle continues to represent many of the same virtues: power, protection, loyalty, and honor. It's a testament to just how powerful and enduring these ancient symbols can be. Now, let's dive into one of the most intriguing aspects of the Roman golden eagle, its actual use in battle and the extraordinary individuals who bore this sacred standard. The role of the eagle in combat was far more complex than you might imagine, and the stories of its bearers are simply incredible. The aquilifer, literally eagle bearer, wasn't just another soldier. He was an elite warrior, chosen for his exceptional courage, physical strength, and unwavering loyalty. Picture this: a veteran soldier clad in distinctive armor, wearing a lion-skin cape that marked his special status, carrying the golden eagle that towered above the battlefield. But here's what makes this role truly fascinating. The aquilifer had to be ready to die, protecting his eagle at any moment. This wasn't just military protocol, it was a sacred duty. The position of aquilifer was one of the highest paid and most respected roles in the Roman military. These men were paid twice the salary of a regular legionary, and for good reason. They had to be skilled fighters while carrying a heavy standard, maintain their position in the heat of battle, and be ready to defend their precious cargo with their lives. There are accounts of aquilifers using their eagles as weapons when surrounded, fighting to the death rather than surrendering their sacred charge. But the eagle's role in battle went far beyond its bearer. It served as a crucial command and control tool in an age before radio communication. The eagle's position told soldiers where to rally, when to advance, and when to fall back. In the chaos of ancient battle, where dust, noise, and confusion reigned supreme, the golden eagle shining above the fray was a beacon of order and direction. The psychological impact of the eagle in battle cannot be overstated. When the eagle advanced, soldiers found courage they didn't know they had. When it stood firm, they held their ground against impossible odds. There are countless stories of nearly broken Roman lines rallying at the sight of their eagle being thrust forward into danger. The shame of losing an eagle was so great that entire units would fight to the death rather than see it captured. Here's a detail that often surprises people. The eagle also played a crucial role in maintaining discipline during peacetime. Every morning, soldiers would gather at the eagle shrine in the camp to receive their daily orders. This wasn't just about military efficiency. It was a daily reminder of their oath to Rome and their sacred duty. The eagle watched over every aspect of legion life, from training exercises to construction projects to ceremonial parades. The relationship between a legion and its eagle was deeply personal. Each eagle had its own history, its own battle honors, its own stories of triumph and sacrifice. Soldiers would speak of their eagle as if it were alive, a divine being that shared their victories and defeats. Some eagles served with their legions for centuries, passing from one generation of soldiers to the next, accumulating legends and battle honors along the way. Perhaps most fascinating is how the eagle shaped the very nature of Roman military discipline. The threat of losing the eagle was often more effective than any punishment in maintaining order. Soldiers who might have wavered in their duty for themselves would stand firm for the honor of their eagle. It created a form of collective responsibility that helped forge the legendary discipline of the Roman legions. During retreats or defeats, yes, even the mighty Roman army sometimes had to retreat, the eagle-bearer had one of the most dangerous jobs. They had to protect the eagle while moving backward, often making them the last to leave the battlefield. Many aquilifers died performing this duty, choosing death over the dishonor of losing their standard. The impact of this system was so profound that it influenced military traditions for centuries to come. Even today, military units worldwide treat their colors and standards with similar reverence, a direct inheritance from those ancient Roman eagles. What fascinates you most about the Roman eagle and its bearers? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're enjoying these insights into ancient military history, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Remember, history isn't just about dates and facts. It's about understanding how symbols and traditions shape the world we live in. The story of the Roman eagle is still very much alive in military traditions today. The craftsmanship behind the Roman golden eagle is a testament to ancient Roman artistry and engineering. Let's dive into the fascinating details of how these magnificent standards were created and why their design was crucial to their role as symbols of Roman power. When you imagine a Roman legion's eagle, you might picture something small and lightweight. But these were substantial pieces of military art. The typical legionary eagle stood about 6 feet tall in total, with the eagle itself measuring roughly 12 inches in height. The eagle was mounted atop a long wooden shaft, often made from sturdy oak or ash wood, which was reinforced with metal bands for additional strength. The eagle itself was primarily crafted from bronze or copper, then gilded with gold. This wasn't just about making it look impressive, though it certainly did that. The gold coating served a practical purpose too, protecting the metal beneath from corrosion and ensuring the eagle would maintain its brilliant shine, even after years of campaigns in all weather conditions. The level of detail in these eagles was extraordinary. Master craftsmen would spend weeks carefully sculpting every feather, creating eagles that appeared almost alive. The birds were typically depicted with their wings partially spread, ready for flight, their heads turned slightly to one side in an alert pose. In their talons, they usually clutched Jupiter's thunderbolts, symbolizing divine power and authority. What's particularly fascinating is how these eagles were engineered for both beauty and durability. They had to be strong enough to survive battles, weather, and constant movement, yet light enough for the aquilifer to carry all day. The eagles were hollow to reduce weight, but reinforced at stress points to prevent damage. Some examples found by archaeologists show clever internal bracing systems that would impress modern engineers. The base of the eagle featured a socket system that allowed it to be mounted securely on its pole, yet removed quickly if needed. This was crucial for protecting the eagle during defeats or emergencies. Below the eagle, many standards included decorative discs called phalerae, which displayed the legion's honors and battle achievements. Think of them as a military unit's resume, written in bronze and silver. The artistic value of these eagles went far beyond their military significance. They were considered masterpieces of Roman metalwork, combining practical design with extraordinary artistic detail. Each eagle was unique, with subtle variations in pose, expression, and detail that gave it individual character. Some legion's eagles became famous for their particular artistic features. One might be known for its fierce expression, another for its particularly detailed featherwork. As symbols of status, these eagles were incredibly important. The quality of workmanship and the amount of gold used in an eagle reflected on the prestige of its legion. When new legions were formed, the commissioning of their eagle was a major event, often involving the finest artisans in Rome. The cost of creating one of these standards was substantial, equivalent to several years' pay for a common soldier. These eagles weren't mass-produced in some ancient factory. Each one was individually crafted, often taking months to complete. The artisans who made them were specialists, their skills passed down through generations. They combined artistic talent with an understanding of engineering and metallurgy that we're still trying to fully understand today. The loss of these eagles wasn't just a military disaster, it was also the loss of irreplaceable works of art. When Augustus sent expeditions to recover the eagles lost in Germany, he wasn't just trying to restore Roman honor, he was also trying to recover priceless artifacts of Roman craftsmanship. Think about it, these eagles were simultaneously works of art, engineering achievements, and powerful symbols of Roman authority. What other ancient artifacts can you think of that combine so many different aspects in one object? Let me know in the comments below. If you're fascinated by tales of honor, revenge, and redemption, you're going to love this part of our story. The loss and recovery of Roman eagles represent some of the most dramatic chapters in military history. Let's start with what it meant to lose an eagle. When a Roman legion lost its eagle, it wasn't just losing a military standard, it was losing its very soul. The consequences were devastating. A legion that lost its eagle was often disbanded in disgrace, its soldiers redistributed to other units, their careers and honor permanently stained. The loss of an eagle was seen as such a catastrophe that emperors would launch entire campaigns just to recover them. The most famous case of lost eagles comes from the devastating Battle of Teutoburg Forest in 9 CE. Picture this: 3 entire Roman legions, led by Publius Quinctilius Varus, marching through the dense German forests. What followed was one of Rome's most crushing defeats, with all 3 legions destroyed and their eagles captured by German tribes. The loss was so traumatic that Emperor Augustus would reportedly wander his palace at night, crying out, "Varus, give me back my legions!" But here's where it gets really interesting. The loss of these eagles became an obsession for Rome. For decades, subsequent emperors would launch expeditions into Germania with the primary goal of recovering these lost standards. Germanicus, one of Rome's greatest generals, made it his personal mission to recover them. Between 14 and 16 CE, he led several campaigns into German territory, recovering 2 of the 3 lost eagles. Each recovery was celebrated in Rome as if it were a major military victory, because in Roman eyes, it was. The recovery of a lost eagle was considered an act of supreme heroism. Soldiers who recovered eagles were rewarded with the highest military honors. These weren't just military operations, they were sacred quests to restore Roman honor. There are incredible stories of small teams of soldiers undertaking near-suicide missions to sneak into enemy territory and recover captured eagles. One particularly dramatic recovery occurred during Crassus's Parthian campaign. After the devastating defeat at Carrhae in 53 BCE, where Crassus's army was virtually destroyed, the Parthians captured several Roman eagles. These eagles remained in Parthian hands until Augustus negotiated their return in 20 BCE, an achievement he considered so significant that he had it commemorated on coins and monuments throughout the empire. But perhaps the most fascinating aspect of eagle recovery was its impact on Roman military psychology. The loss of an eagle created a kind of collective trauma that could only be healed by its recovery. Legions would maintain their sense of shame and dishonor until their eagle was returned, even if it took decades. There are accounts of veteran soldiers, long retired, volunteering for dangerous missions when they heard their old legion's eagle might be recovered. The Romans even developed specific military tactics for protecting and recovering eagles during battle. Special formations would be created around an endangered eagle, and soldiers were trained in emergency procedures for protecting their standard if defeat seemed imminent. Some aquilifers would break their eagles into pieces and distribute them among trusted soldiers rather than risk capture of the intact standard. What's particularly interesting is how the recovery of an eagle became a powerful propaganda tool. Emperors would use successful eagle recoveries to legitimize their rule and demonstrate their ability to restore Roman honor. These recoveries would be celebrated with triumphal processions, commemorative coins, and public monuments. In a very real sense, the fate of eagles became tied to the fate of emperors themselves. We're about to explore how the golden eagle became not just a military standard, but a powerful tool of Roman propaganda and a symbol of imperial might that would influence empires for centuries to come. The golden eagle played a crucial role in Rome's expansion across the ancient world. When Roman legions marched into new territories, their eagles weren't just military standards, they were physical embodiments of Roman power and civilization. Think about this. When those golden eagles appeared on the horizon, they sent a clear message to both allies and enemies. To allies, they represented protection and the benefits of Roman rule. To enemies, they were a warning of Rome's unstoppable military might. The Romans were masters of propaganda, and they used the eagle symbol brilliantly. You can see eagles everywhere in Roman visual culture, on coins, monuments, temples, and public buildings. Each appearance of the eagle reminded people of Rome's divine mandate to rule. The message was clear: just as the eagle rules the skies, Rome was destined to rule the world. During the transition from republic to empire, the eagle took on even greater significance. Augustus, Rome's first emperor, understood the power of symbols perfectly. He made the eagle a central part of his political imagery, connecting his rule directly to Jupiter's divine authority. When he recovered the eagle's loss to the Parthians, he didn't just celebrate a military victory. He turned it into a massive propaganda campaign that helped legitimize his rule. The eagle appeared in Roman literature and official documents as a metaphor for Roman power. Poets would compare Rome's legions to eagles swooping down on their prey. Historical accounts often mentioned eagles behaving in ways that seemed to predict Roman victories. Whether these stories were true didn't matter. They served to reinforce the idea that Rome's destiny was divinely ordained. What's fascinating is how the Romans used the eagle in diplomatic relations. When new client kingdoms were brought into the Roman fold, ceremonies often involved displaying the legionary eagles. It was a not-so-subtle reminder of the power backing Roman diplomatic agreements. The eagles became symbols of both threat and protection. a perfect encapsulation of how Rome viewed its role in the world. The eagle also played a crucial role in Roman civil wars. When Roman legions fought each other, the eagles became powerful symbols of legitimacy. Whichever side captured the other's eagles often claimed this as proof of divine favor. This is why, during civil conflicts, protecting the eagle became even more crucial. Its capture didn't just mean military defeat, but could delegitimize an entire political cause. In Roman provincial administration, the eagle served as a reminder of Roman authority. Provincial governors would often display eagles at their headquarters, and military parades featuring the legionary eagles were regular events in provincial capitals. These displays weren't just ceremonial, they were carefully calculated demonstrations of Roman power and presence. The eagle's influence extended beyond the military sphere into Roman civilian life. Eagle imagery appeared in everything from household decorations to jewelry. Wealthy Romans would commission artworks featuring eagles to associate themselves with imperial power. The eagle became a symbol of social status and Roman identity. Perhaps most importantly, the eagle helped create a sense of unified Roman identity across a vast, diverse empire. Whether you were in Britain, Egypt, or Syria, the sight of Rome's eagles represented the same things: power, protection, and civilization. It was a universal symbol in an empire that stretched across 3 continents. The legacy of Rome's eagles continues to influence us today. Look at the national symbols of countries around the world, from the American bald eagle to the Russian double-headed eagle. These aren't coincidences, they're direct inheritances from Roman symbolism. Modern nations still use eagle imagery to convey the same messages of power and authority that Rome did 2,000 years ago. The legacy of Rome's golden eagle soars far beyond ancient times, influencing military symbols and national identities right up to the modern day. Let's start with the eagle's incredible military legacy. After the fall of Rome, medieval European armies quickly adopted the eagle as their own symbol of military might. The most dramatic example came with Charlemagne's empire in the 8th century. When he was crowned Holy Roman Emperor, he deliberately chose the eagle as his symbol, claiming to be the successor to Roman imperial power. This single decision would influence European military symbolism for the next 1,000 years. The Napoleonic era saw another dramatic revival of Roman eagle symbolism. Napoleon, who saw himself as a new Caesar, deliberately modeled his army's standards after Roman eagles. Each French regiment received an eagle standard in a ceremony that consciously mimicked Roman military traditions. When these eagles were captured by enemy forces during Napoleon's defeats, it echoed the ancient Roman shame of lost eagles. But the most fascinating legacy of the Roman eagle is its enduring influence on national symbols. Look at modern national emblems, and you'll see Rome's influence everywhere. The American bald eagle, chosen in 1782, was a deliberate reference to Roman symbolism. The founding fathers, educated in classical history, knew exactly what message they were sending. This new nation would be heir to the Roman Republic's virtues of strength and freedom. The Russian double-headed eagle, adopted from Byzantine tradition, itself inherited from Rome, has been a symbol of Russian imperial power for centuries. Even after the Soviet period, Russia returned to the eagle as its national symbol, showing the enduring power of this Roman legacy. The German imperial eagle, or Reichsadler, traces its lineage directly back to Roman standards. Throughout German history, from the Holy Roman Empire to modern Germany, the eagle has remained a constant symbol of national identity. What's particularly interesting is how these modern eagles maintain many of the same symbolic meanings as their Roman ancestor. They still represent military power and protection, national sovereignty and pride, unity and collective identity, divine or constitutional authority. Modern military units continue to use eagle imagery in their insignias and medals. The US Air Force, Navy, and Marine Corps all feature eagles prominently in their symbols. NATO's Allied Air Command uses an eagle in its emblem. These aren't random choices. They're conscious connections to a military tradition that stretches back to ancient Rome. But perhaps the most profound legacy of the Roman eagle is how it continues to shape national identity. When modern nations use eagle symbols, they're not just choosing a powerful bird, they're tapping into a 2,000-year-old tradition of what authority and power looked like. The eagle remains one of the most popular national symbols worldwide, appearing on everything from coins to government buildings to official documents. The influence extends even to corporate logos and sports team mascots. Eagles remain popular symbols of strength, speed, and precision, exactly the qualities the Romans originally celebrated. Whether it's a sports team's mascot or a company's logo, the eagle still carries that ancient Roman message of power and excellence. When new nations emerge or governments change, they often adopt eagle symbols to legitimize their authority. It's as if there's something in our collective cultural memory that recognizes the eagle as a symbol of legitimate power, a direct inheritance from Roman times. In summary, the golden eagle stands as one of the most powerful and enduring symbols in Roman history. Throughout our journey, we've explored how this magnificent bird became the embodiment of Roman military might and imperial ambition. From its adoption as the standard of the legions to its central place in Roman mythology and propaganda, the eagle represented more than just a military insignia. It was the very soul of Rome's martial spirit. As we've discovered, the eagle standard, or Aquila, was carried by a special officer called the aquilifer, who held a position of tremendous honor and responsibility. The loss of an eagle in battle was considered a devastating disgrace, while its recovery was celebrated as a heroic achievement worthy of the highest praise. These golden standards served not only as practical rallying points during chaotic battles, but also as powerful psychological anchors that maintained the legendary discipline of Roman forces. The golden eagle's significance extended far beyond the battlefield. It represented the divine favor of Jupiter, king of the gods, and symbolized Rome's self-proclaimed destiny to rule the known world. For generations of Romans, the sight of their eagles soaring above distant lands came to represent security, prosperity, and the benefits of belonging to the greatest civilization of the ancient world. Even after the fall of Rome, the legacy of the golden eagle continued to influence military symbolism throughout history. From Byzantine standards to Napoleonic France and even modern national emblems, we can trace the enduring impact of this Roman symbol across time and cultures. The eagle reminds us that symbols are never merely decorative. They embody the deepest values and aspirations of a civilization. What an incredible journey through the story of the golden eagle. What aspect did you find most fascinating? Were you surprised by the spiritual significance attached to these standards, or perhaps by the elaborate recovery missions Romans would launch to retrieve captured eagles? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the Legacy of Empires channel for more explorations of ancient symbols and their enduring influence on our world today.